Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rebecca Berger. This is Justice for All, where you get to hear from legal professionals in the surrounding area. We have a really great guest tonight, Michael J. Dennin from the law offices of Vincent J. Sieca. He's also the president of the Camden County Bar Association. Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you actually have had a very busy year. First, you are the president of the Camden County Bar Association. That's actually, really intense work in middle of your law practice. How's it been?
It's been great. It's been great. It started, I started as the young lawyer chair probably 5 or 7 years ago now, where I was in charge of all the young lawyers in Camden County and wrangling them up and doing a bunch of good things with them and helping people and making a difference and helping our lawyers in Camden County. And then I rose up as a trustee and then applied to be the secretary, and people thought enough to allow me to do that, and then rose up to treasurer and first vice president, second vice president, president-elect, and then you do that each for a year, each one of those, and then you get put to be president. So we had our installation last June, and it's been a really great year. It's been a really rewarding year.
So what are the kind of things that you get to do as the Camden County Bar Association president?
Well, it's awesome. So we get to do a lot of awesome things. First thing, and the reason why I got into it, and the reason why I got into law in general, is I feel that in being a lawyer, you have an obligation to give back. You have an obligation to do things for people that the people can't really do for themselves, or may not be able to do for themselves, whether it be children or veterans or the disabled or fellow attorneys, law students, the court. So it really gave me, and it's given me a good chance to be able to give back a lot. So we do a lot of great things for the Bar Association. With the Bar Association, we have about 1,500 members in Camden County. I believe we're the second largest bar in the state.
Wow.
Which I like to brag about. So we do a lot of really good stuff. I mean, we have a great board. We have a bunch of trustees. We have a great board. Craig Becker and Rachel Brecky and Dawn Burdell and Michelle Bottolato are all of my executive board. And Michelle's going to be president next year, and she's a super person. She's going to do great. And we have a great set of trustees, a good 12 at least trustees.
What kind of events do you get to do as bar president?
So we do a lot of different things. The way I sort of explain it is like we have like different arms. It's like sort of like the government. You have your executive, judicial, and legislative branches. So one of it's networking. We do a lot of networking with other attorneys and for other attorneys. We do a lot of continuing legal education. We have a requirement, as you're aware, in New Jersey to stay up on our toes and our studies. So we do a lot of continuing education. And then we work really closely with our Bar Foundation, and we feed off of each other, and that's our nonprofit aspect of the bar, in doing charity events.
Oh, fun.
And that's my favorite thing. I mean, I love doing CLEs. I love being able to teach other lawyers to help them out. I love networking. I love talking to the law students, being in really good contact with the court and with the judges. But the main thing that I love is just giving back, is just helping people. And, we do a lot of great things. So just some examples. Our young lawyers are just super. We have the best young lawyers, I think, in the state, a young lawyers division that's run. Chris Keating is our young lawyer chair for this year, but we do a great lobster bake. So I always brag about the lobster bake. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Are you baking the lobsters?
So no. So people actually eat it. I don't cook any food. So we do it every year, and it benefits the Lark School. And the Lark School is a school for significantly, I don't like to say disabled, but maybe challenged children and even adults in Belmar. They've been around for a long time, and these children and adults really have a lot of challenges. Each of them has a separate device that they can. So a lot of these children can't really walk, can't really talk. They can in some different ways, but they just have a lot of challenges that even people, even kids that are disabled, have even a little worse than that, I would say. So, or whatever the language is, I don't know if it's worse, but they're just challenged. So we've been doing a lobster bake. I think we're in like the 8th or 9th year now. We've raised over, I think, $80,000 for Lark School.
Wow.
And
That's
just to give you an
great.
example, one of these children can't really just be in a wheelchair because everyone has a different challenge. All these children and adults have different challenges. So it's not like you go to the store or a medical supply company and just buy a wheelchair because everyone's different.
Yeah.
They have all different needs.
So there's specialized, specialized equipment.
Exactly. And one of those pieces of equipment could go for $10,000.
Wow.
So, just to be able to buy one of them so the child can get around and with help, but can get around. They don't just use an iPad. Everyone's a very specific computer that they use, so they're able to communicate, so they're able to talk with people and express their feelings, because a lot of them can't talk, can't speak like normal, like we're having today, conversation. So we've been doing that for so long, and I just love it. It's every September. It's usually the weekend after Labor Day. I think ABC News was there this year, and they covered it, which we were really happy about. And we feed everybody lobsters. We have cornhole games. You bring the kids. We have raffles, prizes, and it's just a really nice. Well,
it's interesting because I don't think everybody recognizes some of these really great events that, as part of the bar association that attorneys belong to, you get to participate in a lot of, charity things that really can help the community. And the Lark School, is such a worthwhile, not that they aren't all, but such a worthwhile, charity to really work with. That's great. I can't imagine this hasn't been a very busy year for you, because you have a very successful law practice. You work for a very successful firm as well, correct?
Yeah, so it's a labor of love. Before I even transition, we do a chili cook-off just to benefit veterans who have substance abuse issues.
Oh, wow.
That was just this past weekend where everyone, and I don't cook, I'm the judge, but everyone cooks different chili, and we have a contest.
And you're not cooking?
I'm not cooking, so people
On purpose?
Stay alive. Yeah, that's all calculated. We do a great children's party. Our young lawyers do. They go to Anna's Sample House, which is a house in Camden for abused and battered women and children, and they do an Easter party and a Halloween party every year, twice a year.
Wow.
We do, Christmas and holiday events down in Camden. We really try and get back to Camden a lot.
And they have Adopt-A-Family during the Christmas holiday season.
Yep. So we did 100 families this year, and it really just. Again, it's a labor of love. I wouldn't be doing it. It's all pro bono, so for the public, and I wouldn't be doing it unless I loved it. So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a ton of work, but it's really rewarding. And one of the themes that I've had this year, that's why I've been trying to get the press out to cover it, and we've had some success with getting the press out, fortunately, is that attorneys aren't bad people.
No.
First of all, we're people, and we're not bad people.
No.
Everyone has a job to do, so some attorneys may be doing jobs that the public may not think too highly of, but everybody has a client to represent, and everybody has a job to do, and I think that the bad, so to speak, parts of attorneys, or however you want to phrase it, is what people see. They don't see the lobster bakes, they don't see the chili cook-offs, they don't see us spending hours upon hours of our own time doing things to help people and to help,
participate in these things that are incredibly important to the community.
Right, exactly. So that's why I got into the law. I've been working for Vince's firm for 15 years now.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to work with my old man, my dad, Joseph Dennin, for a good part of it. He just retired, which is a little bit bittersweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that why you got into law? Your father was an attorney?
It is. I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor, so that's always one thing that stopped it. I wasn't, I was never the cum laude. I was never the straight A plus guy. Looking back, I wish I would have probably before law school maybe studied a bit harder, but law school, I fell in love with it, and I just wanted to help people. And
well, you grew up around it. If your father, what type of what kind of type of law did your father practice?
So he worked for insurance companies for a fair period of time, and then he became the office manager at Vince's office.
Okay.
So he was actually not an attorney, but he knew more and did more than most attorneys do, and managed the firm for like I said, for I think 40 years or so.
Wow.
And it was just to give him back. It was helping people that can't help themselves, standing up for the little guy.
Yeah.
We do all personal injury and workers' compensation cases in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and we help people that are injured in nursing homes and that are just injured at no fault of their own. And a lot of these people come to us because they're hurt, they don't know where to turn, they have medical bills piling up, people are giving them the runaround, maybe it might be the insurance company, you know, for whatever party caused their injury, and no one's listening to them. And so they come to us, and we really just try to treat our clients like family. That's a big part of what we do. Of course, we want to be professional, we communicate, we make sure that they're taken care of, but we also want to treat them like family. We sort of just try to, and it sounds cliche, but it's the golden rule. You always want to treat people how you want to be treated. And, you know, if my sister was hurt in a bad car wreck and couldn't move her arm and had neck pain and all these other problems, I'd want a firm that would treat that person like it's their sister.
Because they're going through a very difficult time in their life and they need guidance. So I think it's really important to have a firm that does provide that type of guidance. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about personal injury law?
Well, I mean, people say you get hurt in a car wreck, right? It's not your fault. You're stopped at a stop sign. You're taking your child to school or whatever you're doing, and you're just crushed from behind, and police come and you tell them that your neck's killing you, and you go right to the hospital and your neck's killing you, and you have pain down your arm and getting injections and needles in your neck, and spending your time in doctor's offices trying to get better. And so people come to us, and I think the biggest misconception is that people, when they get hurt, they're just trying to win a big lottery or a big pile of money. And the way that most attorneys work is when you go to them, you pay them a certain amount of money, you pay the attorney, no matter if you win or lose, but you're paying that attorney. And that attorney is going to get paid up front because the attorney's going to know, okay, this is what I have to do hourly, this is my hourly amount, this is what I have to do, and win, lose, or draw, the attorney is going to get compensated for the work that they do. And our business is one of the very rare types of law firms that works on a contingency fee basis, which means that we don't get paid unless we win. So people think that, yeah, people go to lawyers just to try to, like me, or people who represent injury, people get hurt in car wrecks or get injured. Well, the attorney, if they're putting out their own time, their own money to file a complaint, to prosecute, to do what they have to do in the case, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars, and their own time, unless that attorney really believes that person, you know, the attorney wouldn't be doing it if they didn't believe that person was hurt, believe that the injuries were real, believe that that person should be compensated.
That's a lot of money to put out.
Because you said it, right? You could be working 3-4 years on a case every night, all night, and if you end up losing, you know, this is what you receive. This is what your clients receives. Even if you pour your heart into it and you work nonstop. So I think a big misconception is that people just hire people and get a bunch of money, when in reality it doesn't work like that. I mean, it has to be real. We have to believe it.
And I also think that, I don't know if people really understand that when they're receiving the money in compensation for that injury, a lot of times it's because they couldn't work. You know, it's compensation at the end of the day. They're not able to work, or they hadn't been able to work for a period of time, or even their pain and suffering for whatever it is they've suffered from.
Yeah, right. So I mean, there's different components: medical bills, lost wages. Those are economic damages that you can actually put on a board and show a jury, so a jury understands that. And then you have the hidden, you have the ones that you sort of can't see, that because your neck is in such pain and you have numbness down your arm and nerve damage that you can't pick up your daughter from the crib, right? You can't take her out of the crib. You can't go and be a coach on your son's baseball team because you can't throw because your arm doesn't work anymore. So those are all things that when people say pain and suffering, it's, who knows what that even means, but you can't sleep. You're taking pain medicine. All of a sudden you're addicted to pain medicine, sometimes we see. You're just trying to get better, and you didn't do anything to cause it. You did nothing wrong. You're just sitting there and you get hurt. And then you need someone to help you. So Vince has been around a long time, and I really enjoy working at the firm, really enjoy what I do.
And I really want to delve into the type of cases and some of the impactful cases that you've handled, kind of give an idea of what they have been right after the commercial break. This is Justice for All. I'm Rebecca Berger, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College of Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College of Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house. How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind-the-scenes footage, previews, and more.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no-obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Berger. This is Justice for All. And we're sitting here talking to Michael J. Dennin from the law offices of Vincent J. Sieca. Mike, so before we went to commercial break, we were actually talking about personal injury cases. And I'm kind of curious, are there any cases that you've handled that have really made an impact maybe on the way that you practice law or the way that you see personal injury?
Yeah, there are a few. There are several. The one that I'll talk a bit about is a case we just tried in Philadelphia, Court of Common Pleas, not too long ago. It finished up, a year ago, but it feels like yesterday. And we got a jury verdict, so we were able to help some clients out. And it was a mother who had lost her arm in a car wreck, and a really bad car wreck, and her young daughter who had also lost a limb in that same bad car wreck. So we were able to, we joined up with another law firm. It was a tire case, sort of. So, an entire concrete truck tire came off in the middle of Route 295.
Wow.
And our clients were passengers in their mother's minivan, and they tried to avoid the tire, and they did successfully, but then there was a car wreck, and people were really hurt, and lives were changed forever. So we did everything we could to help the family. We joined up with another law firm on the case because the case required that. It required a different angle to it. So we joined up with another law firm, and we worked on it together, and for a good 3 to 4 years. And we were there with the clients side by side every day, all day, there for them as much as we could be. And we did a lot of, I say, fairly good lawyering in terms of figuring out what happened and figuring out why this all happened, and getting justice that we're able to, like I said, go to trial on the case. And
because there's no way that you can possibly value what it's like to lose an arm. How much is an arm worth?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems silly to even say that question, but when you're practicing that type of law, like, you're thinking to yourself, you must be thinking to yourself, like, how do I try to work the hardest I can to try to compensate in some way the losses that you'll have for the rest of your life?
Yeah, and it's tough because, look, you can never take a client, this is in any case, but you can never take them back to the day before the collision, right?
Yes.
I mean, or the work accident, or the nursing home neglect, whatever it might be, you can never take them back before that day. So as much as you do for somebody, you have to understand that you're never going to take them back to the day before that happened. They're never going to be normal. Things are never going to be the way they were before. But you can't let that stop you, right? If you sit there and just dwell on that, then you lost. So you got to just push past that and say, look, how are we going to be able to make sure that client is, if we can, is taken care of for the rest of their life, right? If they want a special bathroom with a lower sink, if they want an elevator in the house, if they can't walk, or if they're in a wheelchair, or if they have a prosthetic that they need to get out of and rest off of. If they want to go to a private school because maybe they're in school and being made fun of because of the challenges that they face. So it's very rewarding in that we're able to really help people and make a lot of changes in people's lives, and you're never going to take them back to the way it was before, but you're going to do everything you can to give them all the tools to make sure that they're taken care of for the rest of their life, so that they're as close to normal as they can get.
To the extent that they can be.
Right, to the extent that they can be. And they're never normal, and it's never normal. And I understand that. And I had that conversation with the client after most cases that, look, I wish we never met. I wish I never met you. Or I wish I met you at ShopRite, or I wish I met you, somewhere at church, whatever it might be. I wish I never met this way, because it stinks. And, and I hope I never meet him again, unless we're in ShopRite or church or somewhere, because when people come to us, it's bad news. People are in bad shape. People are hurt. People don't know where to turn. Insurance companies not giving many breaks. They're not helping them. And a lot of people think it's a lost cause. That things just happen, that they can't do anything about it. And they come to us and say, no, you can do something. We can do something about it. Let's figure out what happened. Let's figure out why a tire's in the middle of the road. Let's figure out why this happened on the job. Let's figure out why you're having these problems, So we'll hire the best experts to try and explain to a jury, what's happened. We'll do everything we got to do. We'll stay up all night every night. We'll be in court all day every day. We'll be fighting and fighting and fighting, because we know that if it happened to us, this is what I want. And I don't want to look back on a case and say, I should have done this differently. I should have filed this motion, or I should have argued this, or I should have went this way with it.
How many cases do you think go to trial? What would you say is the percentage? Is it 50-50, or do you think that the insurance companies settle a lot of them?
Well, insurance companies know what attorneys are going to go to trial and what attorneys are not going to go to trial. And
I think that's true.
I mean, right? So we'll go to trial. I have no problem. If I lose, I lose. Don't like to lose. I'm not in the business of losing. I hate losing. And I don't really lose much, but everyone loses a little bit, but I'm really not in the business of losing. So what percentage go to trial? Not many, not a whole ton, but I think that's because we prepare, and if you're doing it right, you have to prepare like every case is going to go to trial. So as soon as you fall asleep and and you think it's open and shut, then it's going to go to trial and you're going to get it handed to you.
I think you have to prepare every case as if it was going to trial. If it doesn't, great. You know, that percentage is small because I think the insurance companies, again, they have that knowledge. Oh, this person really does mean we're going to go to trial. Do you think when you were a new attorney that the insurance companies were kind of trying you out to see whether or not you would go to trial?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, there's been cases where they offer money to settle the case, and I just don't think it's enough. And maybe you lose, maybe you win. You try and win, but, but starting out, it was very daunting, and it was very scary.
Yeah.
And that's why I waited 5 years at least before I became really active in the Bar Association, because I didn't want to jump into that before I knew what I was as a lawyer. You know, like it was enough to learn how to be a lawyer and to do things right. And then as opposed to just jumping right into the Bar Association because you feel like, I wrote a little article in our barrister every month, the Camden County Barrister, on it, but imposter syndrome, where you're sort of, and I was at a Rutgers event, and Lloyd Freeman was talking about it too, my friend Lloyd, and a little different angle he had to it. But, a lot of attorneys, I feel like especially younger attorneys, minorities, but younger attorneys, just feel like they're not good enough. They feel like, yeah, they went to law school, they got a degree and everything, but they feel like they're not good enough. And you got to get out of that. You got to start understanding that, no, you are good enough. You've put in your time. You know what you're doing. So you are good enough, and I think that you have to start understanding that. And when you understand that, then you can blossom. You can go to the Bar Association and do all the great things we're doing. And that's why I give such great credit to, we have so many law students that are members of our bar. And
do you get to speak to them now?
Absolutely, yeah. We get to speak to all the law students and reach out to them, to the extended night law students, to the clerks in the courthouse. We are really close with the clerks in the Camden County Superior Court. So you get to tell them, and I basically tell them exactly what I'm saying tonight, is that, look, you have a license to practice law. A lot of people don't have licenses to practice law. Not right doctors, there's a few others, but, and you can't just sit there and put it in your pocket. You have to use it for good. And we have an oath to do good, and we have an oath to do a lot of things, to be honest, to be fair, and to communicate with our clients and help our clients and advocate for them. But you have a license, and I think you have an obligation. I think if you are given the ability to be a lawyer, then you have to use that ability to give back and to really give back. And at the end of the day, when you're up with him or wherever you are, whoever you report to, at that point, they're not going to be asking you, about your win-loss record in your cases.
No.
They're gonna look at, okay, what'd you do to help people? Like, yeah, that's great. You help people in a car wreck or whatever it might, work injury or what have you, but that doesn't stop there, and I think it's really rewarding too. It's really rewarding to win a case and help a client and take care of them. But it's also really rewarding to raise money for a kid's wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's more rewarding. There are different kinds. There's different kinds of rewards, and I just try and impart that knowledge in our young lawyers, and my colleagues, and the clerks, and everybody that I can, to say, look, you have an obligation to give back, and you got to do what you're doing in the law, but it's not all about the billable hour. When a lot of attorneys bill hourly, and that's what they do, and that's certainly fine and proper, but that's not what it's all about. It's about a lot more than that.
So it's, practicing law is not only making sure you're doing right by your clients, but also giving back to the community at large. I mean, I have the same philosophy in my practice and how I practice, and it's so impressive to know that it's rewarding to know that I get to meet fellow attorneys, and so many of them who have that same philosophy in terms of practicing law, that we have an obligation not only in our practice, but also to the community at large and giving back. If clients wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that? How could they reach you?
Sure. Well, just right before I get to that, well, I also have children and a wife. So I want to make sure that, you know, if I'm telling my child something, that I'm backing it up. If I'm telling my child, look, do this the right way, or do this, do that, that I'm doing it right. So, and they can sort of see that. But to reach me, a lot of different ways you can reach me. You can call me at the office. Our firm number, we have a 24/7 call service, and we're available, and that's 856-665-5709. You can reach me at my email, which is mdennin, and my name is mdennin at Ciecca, that's CIECKA.com. Stop in the office. We're at 5709 Westfield Avenue. That's our main location. And we have a Philadelphia office also, but you can see us in our Pennsauken office. We have 3 buildings there and really nice grounds, I'm going to say. And we have a great support staff too, so we have a lot of people there at the firm that are able to help you. Call me on my cell phone if you need to call me on my cell phone, which is 856-577-9138. Some people say you're nuts giving out your cell phone to clients, and just in general, I'm like, well, look, if people need you, they need you.
Yeah.
You know, so
Mike,
we try to be there for people.
Mike, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. I want to thank you for coming on tonight. It's been great.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
This is Justice for All. I'm Rebecca Berger, and we'll see you next week.